making you gay.
It's time for the second MC. But a lot happened before Miku's Omajanai time. Here are the bullet points as best as I can remember. There may be some mistakes in the details, but I'm an old man with a short memory, so please bear with me. Miku. It looks like it's raining a little outside. But it's not Sai-chan's fault today, Po. There has been a lot of bad weather at Okuji recently, and she has been the subject of a lot of Saiki-sensei, please forgive me comments on Twitter and elsewhere, and she's been a bit depressed about it, Po. But it's not her fault if it's raining lightly, Po-ne. I know it's her fault because there were heavy rain warnings for Osaka and Nagoya, Po. Miku. We also need to rehabilitate to Okuji with audience, Po. So we decided to play a smaller venue, Po. Konami. Also, we wanted to do it again where we used to play around. Akane. I let my protein go bad at home. Miku. Why are you talking about that here, Po? Banana Opening Ceremony by Akane. Akane. I got a big, beautiful sound in Osaka, but since then, I've been failing. So today, Saiki and I picked out a banana that we thought would make a good sound. Miku. Don't stick the banana to the microphone, Po. However, when Akane ripped off the banana handle, not only did it not make any sound at all, Akane had no choice but to start biting the banana, but the banana stuck to Miku's microphone. Everyone was in an uproar. Konami. If it's Sai-chan's mic, don't tell her. Oh, it's Miku's mic. Well, okay then. Miku tried to wipe the banana off the microphone with a tissue while apologizing to the PA guys, but she couldn't get it off completely. Even when she thought she had removed the banana, she was still in an uproar, saying that the smell was still there. Miku. Raise your hand if you were at this venue 5 years ago, Po. About 1/4 of the people raised their hands, so the maids were impressed by the sheer number of people. Beer opening ceremony by Misa was a success with a good, loud sound. Miku. Now for the most important Omajanai time at Okuji, Po. It's mandatory participation, Po yo. Masters and princesses cannot be voiced. Instead, Miku explained how to do Omajanai using their fingers, or OMJ towels for merchandise sales. Everyone follows the instructions, and Miku is so impressed that she takes a picture of it with her camera. As Miku closed the Omajanai time, a solemn intro backing track began. It was From Now On. If the set list was as it had been in the past, the best and most noteworthy section with only difficult songs should start then. From Now On. I'm sure many of you heard this on the Summer Sonic streaming. The backing track helps to make this song majestic, grand in scale, and difficult to play. I loved it the moment I heard it for the first time because it was a worldview that I had never seen in BAND-MAID's instrumental music before. My body froze, and my whole being just poured into my ears and eyes to experience this song, especially with Konami's guitar playing in front of me, completely in Mincho mode. Anyway, I think it was a tremendous performance. As for the next song, there were several candidates. Warning, Hibana, Giovanni, Honkai. Whatever came next was sure to be a tremendous experience. But hey, they haven't done Unleash yet. How could they not play that song? Just as these thoughts were running through my mind, Saiki appeared on stage and shouted in a surprisingly loud voice, "You want to hear the new song premiering for the first time?" What? What did she say? Seriously? However, before I had time to clear my head, the song started right away. At this point, no song titles have been announced. What immediately came to my confused mind was the thought that the song seemed to be a mixture of the overwhelming speed with which it pushed forward like many of BAND-MAID's recent songs, and the various elements of Unseen World and later songs. T. Shinji specifically mentioned Corellium. Maybe he's right. I guess the Maids are going this route after all. But that thought was blown away the next moment. Suddenly, the instrumental part had a delicious taste of not old school rock, but ancient school rock and roll. Psyche started talking fast instead of rapping, and Misa, as usual, started a parallel solo that seemed to have nothing to do with the main part of the song, and so on. I had no idea what was going on, and the song was over in a flash. If you ask me, then it's the same as usual. I would like to reply with this, but the speed of change and the breadth of the worldview had evolved to another dimension. Anyway, I felt like I was getting punched in the head from 360 degrees at an unbelievable speed, and with a new kind of punch that I had never received before. I write this now, but I just wanted to say that the next time I hear this song again, I'll probably write something completely different. It will be released shortly, so please, everyone, hear it for yourselves. Thank you for all the warm words. I actually have got to go out to work today. It will be midnight Japan time when I get back. I will try to write more in tomorrow morning, but this thread itself may be gone. If that's the case, I will upload the rest of the article to BAND-MAID Chat as well. I have actually intended to write my impressions of all the songs before this thread disappeared, but it turned out to be unexpectedly long and I lost my schedule. I apologize for the inconvenience. September 9th, 2022. As I write this article, I'm rereading the comment I sent to everyone immediately after the Okyuji. I uploaded them while I was walking from the venue to the nearest station, so it must have been a time when my impressions of the songs and performances were still vivid. I'll copy and paste it as it is. Here is my first impressions of Influencer. I can't say for sure since I've only heard it once, but Influencer was a cool song that had elements of recent BAND-MAID, speed, complexity of structure, but also had a taste of old school breezy rock and roll. Misa and Konami's solos were brilliant. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I mentioned ancient school rock and roll earlier, but at the time, I was feeling a scent of the go-go dance music that took the US and Japan by storm in the early 1970s. If so, it might have been better to call it funk rather than rock and roll. In my elementary school days, commercials and TV programs featuring women in super miniskirts dancing around with their hair and hips in the air to go-go were all the rage. However, they were not sexy, but really a healthy flirtation, and I never had a bad image of them in my mind as a child. I felt as if I could smell that scent of go-go from around Konami. I don't remember if it was a specific phrase or not. Or maybe it was the rock and roll scent after all? Anyway, it smelled like the late 1960s, early 1970s. I remember that Psyche singing was the usual Psyche singing. In a good way, of course. No matter what the instrumentalist did, she was unfazed and went on her own way. In the case of Influencer, however, it was not a straight road. At times she sang passionate melodies that sounded like J-pop. At other times she spoke quickly and stringed words together instead of singing, but not the usual rap. And then she turned into an R&B singer. Twists and turns, diverse, complex, and bizarre. I only remember that she had a tremendous presence in any case. And yes, I remembered two things I felt while listening to Misa's solo part. Isn't this the best solo she's ever done? If it's not arranged specially for today, and if this is original as it is, isn't this her longest solo as a fixed solo part in a song? After listening to the song again calmly, I might be wrong, but there is no doubt that Misa's solo phrasing was on a different level than her previous ones, both in skill and in the change in sound quality. After that, there was Konami's solo as usual, which I remember was breathtaking. It wasn't just a cool phrase, but a thick and complex solo that made me feel that this was the only way to receive the best solo in Misa's history. Well, as soon as Influencer, name not yet revealed at this time, was over, the next song began. Not for a moment at all does this band let our heads or hearts down. Well, except for the MC. I knew that this section was going to be a series of difficult songs that would be complicated for both the performers and the listeners. So I should have been prepared, but Influencer completely destroyed my head, and I had to listen to the intro of the next song with a foggy mind. Oh gosh, it's Hibana. For some reason, the sound quality and mixing of the 3 songs on Sense were not compatible with my ears, and I found it difficult to get into the songs and performances because of the sound quality. Of course, this is not a problem with the songs or performances. I rarely listen to Hibana on my own volition, so I was hoping that the Okuji would help me grasp the essence of the song and the performance. And yet, with my destroyed brain, it is unlikely I will be able to listen to it firmly. I'm stuck. I was just passively accepting the song. But then, what? After listening to Influencer, I found Hibana to be nothing more than a very simple, straightforward rock song. Oh, this song is really orthodox rock, isn't it? Yes, the variety of Misa and Akani's moves and the slight changes in the middle of the song can be deceiving, but the essence of the song is almost a straight road. Compared to the extremely colorful painting of Influencer, Hibana is like a monochromatic painting. I honestly could not judge while listening to their performance whether this was the essence of the song or whether it was a hallucination due to the fact that Influencer had been subjected to the full effect of its very name. So, as for Hibana, if I should ever meet it again in person at some Okuji, that would be the time I would listen to it again carefully.